Hello everybody and welcome. In this video we're gonna talk about a bit more relating to the list, dictionaries, comparison operation, logical operation, string and the method. This is a continuation of the introductory Python series. Those who didn't subscribe my channel, please do so that in future I can come back more and more data science related video, something like this one. So let's do and start the session today. At first, we will discuss detail about the list. So what is list? List is maybe I've been explained little bit in my previous video, but in this video I will explain a bit more. List is a sequence of memory allocation in your computer. So if you say declare a variable and you want to say that you want to put some value inside of that variable using the third bracket, something like as you can see in the screen. So computer will realize that this is a variable and it will consider it as a list, but I call it in here as name of my list. And then once if you put any material inside of that third bracket, it's gonna be considered as each element of that list. So bottom line is the list is a variable which will contain some sequential product or whatever you want to put in there in the computer. So say in this line I declare a list and then inside of that list I put three product, John, Ben and Kathy. So if I run this line, it run and then inside of that list all the product is already there. Now at this moment if I want to print that list, so let's print that list, it will give you all this product. So it is a sort of, it sometimes it gonna works like sort of array. Those who was working with some other programming language like C or Pascal or PHP, this is array kind of concept, so you have to compare it on that way. In the list, the Python list numbering is starting from 0. So the first element is 0, after then is 1, after then 2, something like that. So if you want to change any value inside of that list, what you have to do is you have to say which number of element you want to change. Say in this case I want to change the list number of 0 and I want to put, before it was John, so I want to put a new things, say new product or whatever. If I run this code, say I run this line, that means at this moment in this list first element, element number 0 been changed, index number 0 been changed. So if I again want to print that list, first element gonna be new because I change it, and second one gonna be Ben, and third one gonna be Kathy, something like that. So let's run that line. As you can see in the screen, first element is new and then Ben and Kathy. First mean element number 0, second mean element number 1, and third mean element number 2. So this is how the list and indexing gonna be calculating. In here is another example, as you can see in the screen, list number 2. In this list I want to put a string and number both. So Python is such a smart and easy programming language that at the same list it can consider both string and number as well. So if I run this line, you can see it run, and there is another list, I call it list number 3, as you can see in the screen. Now if you want to manipulate list number 3, so in the list number 2 element number 3, what means that 0 1 2 3, you guys can, if you guys run this line, you will see that this element gonna be shown in the screen because you want to get that number. This is how numbering is calculating in the list, calling in the list. But if you want to run the total list, total list of list number 2, you have to call it like this way. I think some of you already know that. So if you run that, you can see it will gonna give you this list in here. Similarly, I want to get my list point number 0 because in some point you know that I have changed the 0 number element into my list. So let's see what is printing in here. see new, because although initially the new list was this one John, after then in some point I change it and then I want to test it in here, list number 0 is new. However, what should be the list number 1 then? If I ask you as a question, what should be the list number, I mean in my list, what should be the element number 1? You guys should know that it should be Ben, right? So let's run this one and see. It is Ben, right? So this is how the indexing of the list is working. Now again, I want to change this one, okay? So in this line, I want to change the name, change the product of my list tab again as it was before, previous value, John, Ben and Kathy. Then let's run this line, and then if you, in this situation, if you want to call this my list, say I want to call my list again, my list, then it will give us, so it will give us John, Ben and Kathy. So in this situation, one thing I have to mention that in any variable in Python, so if you change product inside of that variable or value, it will be always getting the new value, new value until, but until and unless you don't change it, it will be always remaining the same. So in here, you declare a variable and put something on there, and then you change in one of the product over there, and then it will be remaining as changed situation, but until and unless you change it. So once if you put this one and you change this one, until and unless you change this, uh, again change it, the product should be, first element should be new. So in this situation in here, I again change the same name, I mean keep the name same, but I also keep the product as initial one. So my new list gonna be this one. So always we have to remember that in a variable declaration, if you put something in that variable, it will be a remaining same until and unless you're gonna change it. That's the bottom line. Okay, now question is how you want to add something into a list. So you have to consider this command like name of the list and then append. So if append mean, if you say in this situation I want to add in this list this product, so then let's run it and we'll show what is the effect gonna going, and let's run again, which means that if you want to append something, the new product always gonna be next, always gonna be next. So index always gonna be next, which is also a logical as well. So in this situation, if you run this line, the first element gonna be John, and then index number 0 gonna be John, index number 1 gonna be Ben, right? This is how it works. Now if you want to see, if you want to put one and onward, then you have to consider like this one, like this command, which means that you want to see all the product inside that list starting from indexing 1 to end. So starting from index 1 to end, this is how we calculate, we consider the indexing sequence of the list. Now in this one, if you run this one, you will see it will give you the indexing only until this one, I mean from 0 to 1, but it not gonna hit, it not gonna consider the last one. So in this situation, I want to say that from the my list, it will give you the index, it will give you all the product until the one you mention in here. So in here you mention that you want to see all the product until 1, which means only 0 1. Say for more clear, if you want to see all the product until 3, which means that it will give you 0 1 2. Okay, so let's run this line, and we'll see the effect. Okay, until this one, which means that it didn't hit until the hit the index number 3. So this is all about the normal condition or normal situation of the list. At this moment, let's see the nested list. Nested list mean the list which is which will be inside of another list. Say we say that the name of the list is nest, then we put all this in here. So if how it consider or how we calculate each product inside of the nested list, that say we have to go through this way. Say this one is 0 1, this one is 2, and all this product is 3. all this product from here to there is 3 in normal situation. So in the next 3 mean, so if we run this line, in the next 3 mean should be all the product, all the products that are line this, all the product from here till end, here till finish. Now if you say, if you want to call 3 and then inside of that 3 number 2, that means 0 1 2, it will give you uh, triple A. Okay, this one, that means it will give you this product. So you have to calculate from left normal way how it, once if you see any third bracket, you consider that definition starting of inside of that another nested list, and if you see starting of another third bracket, you will consider that there may be starting of another nested list. This is how nested list is working. Now at the same time you can get this same product if you say 3 2 0, that means 0 1 2 all 3, and then inside of that 3 number 2 0 1 2, and inside of that 2 only 0, that means it's gonna give you this one as well, same product. So we can call that one either this way or this way as well. So we want to, at this moment we want to call another list. This list I call it this list, apple, banana and cherry. We can put the these 3 product inside of the list, this list. So let's run this line and print the product. So it will give you this way. Okay, so I have also discussed something how to get the product from a list using the for loop. Say if you have a list and you want to pour you and inside of that list all these 3 products are inside of that list. Now if you want to use for loop to get the product from that list, you have to consider like this way. As I mentioned before, into the for loop you always have to consider a variable first for x in this list. I say this list now starting, and then I want to say print x, which means that at this moment every variable x will get the value from this list. So if I run this code, it will give you all these 3 products. Okay, this is how we use the for loop to get a value or retrieve a value from a list. Now len is another keyword we use in the Python to get the length of any list. Say here is a list and we call that as this list. So if we use len this list and or print and then print, it will give you the length of this list. As you can see, the length of this list is 3. So this is how you can able to understand or able to know what is the length of any list. Now at this moment I want to, as I mentioned before, append is a word we use to put any product inside of that list. Say this list append ss. So in this line we want to put one product into this list and last product should be in here, added gonna be here, and then if you want to in this line you want to print that list and you want to put length of that list into x and you want to run x. So in this line you want to put one product, in this line you want to print that product total list. So if you run this line, it will give you the length of this list. Okay, now remove a product from the list. Say you have 3 products inside a list. At this list all these 3 products, ban, cherry and apple, banana and cherry, and you want to remove any specific product, say this one, and if you want to print this list it will give you everything except this product because you remove that one. This is how it works. Okay, so again I put 3 products inside a list called this list, and pop is the word which we use to element to remove the last product from the list. So in this case it will remove the last product from this list, I mean this one. Okay, and it will give you other two product inside from that list. Again at this moment if you see in this line, before there was 2 product, again if you want to pop again, then it will remove another product, so it will give you just only apple. Then say let's run this again. Yes, only apple. But again if you want to run this line, what will happen? It will remove apple again and it will be the empty list for you. So let's run this one. Say empty list for you. You can see here run number 31. What will happen if you run again this list, again this code? It will give you error message, and it will gonna tell you that there is nothing into the list. Say it will give you the error in iteration 32 and pop from empty list. So you cannot pop from empty list. Okay. So this is how the removing is calculating or considering from a list. Now in this line I have shown that another list is in here, and then I want to print n list 2 and 3. Now you have to consider how it works. As we said before, there is a list, I said n list. So this one is 1, then this one is 0, then this one is 1, then this one is 2. So I said 2. First of all 2, we got 2, and then what is 3 inside that 2? Maybe 0, 1, 2, 3. So it should give you W, a triple, I mean this one 4W. See, this is how the list and nested list is working in detail. Now in this, now we will show how the dictionary is working and what is the concept of dictionary. This is a advanced level of little bit advanced level of thinking, the dictionary concept in Python. How dictionary is working is actually in the memory space. It will allocate the key value and item. So that means each each key value will consider an item. So if you want to call that key value, it will give you that item. Say we want to say D is a dictionary and key 1 is item 1, key 2 is item 2. So if you want to call key 1, then it will provide you item 1. If you want to call key 2, then it will provide you item 2, which means that in at a glance, or in bottom line is, in the memory space, computer will allocate some space for you to put something, and it say that the first space is key 1 and you want to put item 1 on that space. Second name of the space is key 2 and you want to put item 2 into that space. So if you run this line, it will consider this dictionary over there, and then if you run this D, it will give you key item, and key item. Now question is, in this line, say I said inside the memory space, it allocated memory for you and it named that memory as a key 1. So if you call that key 1, what it will give you inside that product, right? This is how the concept is working. It's like this one. So what will be the, if you say item 1, it's not gonna give you something else, it will give you some error message, because you have to call it by its name, not value from there. So it not consider it, you give you something. So if you allocate a memory space, you have to, and you give a name of that memory space, if you call the name, then you will get the product from there. Similarly, if you consider big, I mean, you can consider thousands of key value. So like in this one, there are 3. Now, left hand side one is the key and right hand side one is the value. So if you say you declare that one, in this line, if you, the name of the dictionary is this dictionary, and if you want to call model, what will give you? It will give you this product. Say run this line, it will give it. Now if you want to call year, what will give you? Say year, what will give you? It will give you obviously this product. Okay, so let's run that one, and it gave you this one. So this is in short the concept of dictionary. This is nothing complicated or nothing complex. That's a pretty straightforward concept. Okay, so at this moment I want to tell you that just in short how comparison operator is working. It is also a basic things. Say 1 greater than 2. I discussed comparison operators before in one of my videos, but in here I will just cover a little bit in here more as well. Say 1 greater than 2. Is it 1 greater than 2? No, it will give you false, because this is not true. So comparison operator in most cases gonna give you the output of Boolean level, right? So it will give you, provide always true or false, true or false, true or false, something like that. And we have to see that how we apply this greater than, less than, equal to, or greater than, less than, or equal to, or equals. So it should be true, something like this one. And then it one less than or equal to 4. it should be true because one of the statement is true. 1 is less than 4 or less than or equal to something like that, so it should be true. 1 is true. 1 is not equal to 4 but less than 4, so this why it gave you true operation. High equal to y, it's not gonna happen because it will is something else, right? It's gonna give you false. So this is how the comparison concept is working in Python. In here we will see some logical operator: 1 greater than 2 and 2 less than 3. So what will happen is 1 greater than 2 no and something else, so it gonna gives you false. Similarly, so and mean both of the side gonna be true, so if one side is false it should be false. So 1 greater than 2 no, it should be, or any one should be true, then it will gonna be true, then it should be true, right? Because this side is true. Similarly, any one of the in here is true, that means true, that means I can see that in here it is true, so it should be true, something like that. So this is how the logical operation is working. And now in here I will discuss something relation to the string operation. Say I want to declare string in a variable called st. So line, if I run this line, you can see that st is a variable, and inside the st this is the value. So so this is actually a string inside that st. If you want to run lower, all the character in there gonna be lowercase. If you see in same, s is uppercase, so if you run this one it's gonna give you the lowercase as well. And run this line and you will see that all the letters in this line is in the lowercase now, but using upper you will get all uppercase. So if you run this line st dot upper, that means variable dot uppercase, it will give you uppercase of all the letters in there. Okay, so by splitting st dot split, what will give it to you is it will split every word by word, it will split you everything. Say you have a variable called tweet, and the inside of there is a tweet in there. So based on some characteristics, you can split the variable. Say you want to split based on hashtag, so what you have to do is tweet dot split hash, that mean it will that mean, oh hang on, we have to run this line first and then you have to do this one. So that means it will split your code, I mean it will split this string based on that code. So left hand side is this one and the right hand side is this one. Another important factor in Python is how you import the any package into the Python. So Python is basically work in most case based on some package. So once if you need any package, you have to install them from the pip or conda. I will show in another video how we install some required package into the Python. But in here, just for simplicity, we want to see how the import is working. To import any package, you have to import datetime as time now. So you want to call a variable called time now. In that variable, you want to call a package which is called datetime. Datetime is a standard package which will come straight away with your Python or Anaconda. So if you say declare another variable called x, and then you want to say that time now, I mean that variable dot datetime dot now. So within this line you will get that current time at this moment what is in your computer. So if you see in the right hand side in here in my screen, the current time is 1:36 am. So that means this is the current time and this is the date. Okay, this is how you will get the date and time. So again in here you want to import date time, but you don't want to import it as another variable, you want to import it straight away. So you can use this variable straight away, say date time dot date time, and now it will give you same product, and inside of that time you get each component separately. So if you print x, it will give you the total time, that means total string. From that total time string you will get the microsecond. What is the microsecond over there? This one it will give you maybe and then second, what is the second at this moment. So it will be little bit more than previous because it is times gone little bit more. So this is how that you will get the microsecond and second from the current time, from the current time. So on the other hand, you will vice versa. You can go, you can declare any date, and then you can convert it into a date. Say you want to convert this string into a date. So in similar way, datetime dot this one, and if you want to print the x, it will give you it will convert this string, this number into a date, which is this date. Okay. So another one is calendar. Import calendar. In this way, you can import the calendar as well. And how calendar work is calendar.month. So so using this library, what you can do is you can get any number convert into a month. So you want to see 2045 fifth month, and you want to put it into my underscore calendar, right? So say if you print this one, you will see that May 2025. See, May 2025. And you want to print here is my calendar. So if you want to print my calendar, it will give you the month value of, month of that month, month number 5 of that year 2025. This is how this simple concept working. Okay, so this is was the total session today. I hope you guys gonna enjoy this session and will learn something from this introductory Python session. Those who didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe so that I will come more and more this kind of concept in future. Until then, have a good night and goodbye.